Hi, here we are, ready to go for our 3 weeks camping trip with this beauty behind me. We are going to visit 4 provincial parks in Ontario. Our first stop is Bronte Park in Oakville, which is a town close to where we used to live. We're going to take time to visit our son who lives there, as well as a few friends. After that, we're going to be heading to Sandbanks Provincial Park, one of my favorite parks in Prince Edward County. We're going to be there for about 2 weeks.
And after that, we're going to be heading over to Bon Echo, which is a park we haven't done yet. We're going to be there for 6 nights. Then we're going to start coming back home, and we're going to stop over in Emily Provincial Park, where we haven't been either. So we're going to be there for a couple of nights, and then we're going to be back home to get ready for the bigger trip. More to come. Going back to our previous home location in Burlington, Ontario, it's fun and easy as we know all the vistas on our way around. It's part of the Greater Toronto Area, commonly called the GTA. I'm not missing any of the traffic, that's for sure. While we visited the area, our number one priority was to visit our sons Philip and his girlfriend Becca's new apartment in Dundas. A definite improvement from the previous location in Hamilton. I'm sure Becca will love that one a lot more. Great pick, guys. We also had dinner with Brian and Mamak at our favorite oyster and seafood restaurant called Jake's Grill and Oyster House in Burlington. I think we've seen more of Brian and Mamak since we moved and while living in Burlington. Maybe it was a good thing we moved to see them more. As usual, our dinner at Jake's was great with tasty oysters and my favorite lobster linguine, a must-have. To wrap up the intense social extravaganza, we invited ourselves to our good friend Rob and Adrian, which in turn invited Sue and Bruce, hoping for a full gang get-together. Unfortunately, Bruce was tied up and could not be present. We had a lazy afternoon playing Mexican Train and catching up since we last saw them in January back at our place for New Year's party. It was great seeing everyone during that 3-day sprint. Now our social batteries are completely depleted and it's time to recharge them. Alright, this was our site at Bronte Park. We didn't equip anything, we didn't put the carpet out, nothing or whatever, because we were here to see friends and family. And big surprise for us, we were parked right next to another streamer, which is another 30-footer, Flying Cloud. The campground is a great, safe and cheap alternative to hotel, motel, and on top of that, it's about 10 minutes drive to an efficient commuter train to Toronto. Again, this is 50 kilometers away from Toronto. We're right in the middle of a very busy GTA area, which is Burlington, Oakville, and it's right next to the QE, and you can barely hear the cars, and you have nature all around you. Like, it's amazing. The park is divided in 2 sections. A day use area, which has many hiking trails, and the campground on the other side of Bronte Creek. There is no bridge connecting the two together, but your campsite access gives you access to all. In between our planned social activities, we managed to do the Ravine and Half Moon hiking trails on the day use side. Fairly easy 6 kilometers combined with a nice view of the Bronte Creek on the Half Moon Trail. There's also a farm with some animals for kids to enjoy, and there were a few school trips that day. Great to see kids enjoying nature. Bronte Creek Park is 50 kilometers west of Toronto, and a great stopover for visiting Toronto and all it has to offer. For us, it's the best way to be close to friends and family. Once again on the road, and this time traveling to Sandbanks from Bronte Creek Provincial Park, and we drove on Highway 407, which skips the busy GTA, but it is a toll highway. For us, that is the easiest and painless way to go. Sandbanks is a big park with 5 different campgrounds. They are Richardson, Woodlands, Cedars, Outlet River, and Westlake. So far we've stayed in Woodlands and Westlake. The Outlet and Cedars are mostly non-electric, and the Outlet can have you directly on the beach behind the sand dune. Very sandy, but very nice setting. Westlake is the new campground, with no trees, but the privacy is okay if you have an outskirt site. There's less bugs around, and you have a perfectly clear sky to watch the stars, use your Starlink setup for internet access, or solar panels if needed. Perfect for a lengthy 11-night stay. We had a couple of big storms during a night and decided to go biking the next morning, not thinking about the puddles. They were everywhere and we had so much fun, pretty much like 5-year-olds going through them at full speed. We were very messy afterwards, but so rewarding, no parents to tell us off. Both of us had full-blown smiles and we would do it again any minute. Doing all the trails and cover the entire park will give you near 25 kilometers of biking right next to Lake Ontario. Very beautiful. Although we like the beach and biking, our main reason coming to Sandbanks is to visit the many wineries and breweries around Prince Edward County, which sits around 100 kilometers west of Kingston. On Father's Day, we did a pit stop at Gillingham's Brewery. Great place. Carolyn liked their wheat beer called Ryder, and I got stuck on their IPA 1316. They also offer oysters every Saturday and Sunday, and that was a very nice discovery. On Tuesday, we went to Armand Hardy's winery for lunch, and on arrival looking for a table, we walked on the man himself, and he got us straightened out very quickly. He even managed to speak to us in French, telling us he learned it in France while in Burgundy. We had some oysters and pizza, while Caroline had their white calcaire, and I had their cuvée orange, which is a very tasty Gewürztraminer. Ralph and Esther, looks like I need your help here for the proper pronunciation. On our way out, we headed to Cassidia Estates, which is next door per se, to try some of their wines. We really like their Pinot Grigio. Good thing we started with a bang, as Caroline got a bad cold keeping her out of commission for 7 days. Not easy during a heat wave. Since I live a good life and I wasn't sick, I went biking on the Millennium Trail, which spans 46 kilometers from Carrying Place near Trenton, ending in Picton on the east side. To get on that trail from Sandbanks, you have to ride 12 kilometers to Bloomfield on the main road. On the trail, I headed east toward kilometer 0. There's not much to see on that side of the trail. Flat, gravel, and straight, and once again, a deserted railway in the middle of nowhere. Overall, I managed to do 100 kilometers that day. As a reward to myself, I stopped over at the Dune Hopper Brewery, which is 5 minutes away from the Westlake Campground, to try their IPAs. They had 4 listed and I tasted 3 of them. The Hazy Pale Ale was the best for me. A must stop if you are at Sandbanks. The people are very nice there. The next day, my Superman shield failed me and I started to get sick as well. But on the good days, we managed to visit a few other places. Caroline absolutely wanted to visit Carlo Estate. They have a very nice story that goes with it. The location was absolutely rustic, but so much charm, and their wines were very good. Once again, we managed to leave with 6 bottles. On our way back, we stopped at Matron Fine Beer in Bloomfield. It was recommended by Dune Hopper, and what a great discovery once again. IPA Janky to die for, and Caroline had their wheat beer called Bobo. Location doesn't say anything from the outside other than a lot of corrugated steel and industrial stuff. Once you step in, it's like wow, so well designed and laid out. Again, another must visit. Also, Prince Edward County is well reputed for artists, and near the park there is a store called The Local Store, which hosts over 100 artisans, and we found some very original items at a very reasonable price. Overall, we spent over 11 days in Sandbanks, and although we were sick half the days, we still managed to walk all the beaches. The outlet, which is the busiest with about 2.5 kilometers long, following with dunes the shortest, but very nice landscape having the dunes as a background. Lakeshore Beach is the longest and more deserted with over 7 kilometers long. All of them have their own characteristic. If you haven't been to Sandbanks Provincial Park or Prince Edward County, put that on your list. It's a must-visit area.
Hello, our next episode will cover our second part of our trip. We will go to Bonnecot and Emily Provincial Parks. Stay tuned.